Hey, hi all, welcome to the channel. Hope all is well at your end. So today we will talk about database comments and dual table in Oracle. So comments are quite important in any programming language that provides better code readability. Okay, programs which are having comment can be managed efficiently and easily. That helps future developer to understand what exactly the existing program does, and on top of it they can make further changes. Dual is a small work table, okay, which basically helps in different Oracle operations like arithmetic operations, string manipulation, etc. So we will try to understand these two concepts in this particular video. Okay, so let's start this particular video. But before that, if you are new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe it. Let's talk about comments. Okay, so comments basically provides useful information in any programming language. Okay, so that like new developer can understand what's the purpose of that particular object or program. Okay, in Oracle, comments can be added to your SQL scripts, PL/SQL code, or database objects such as tables. So comments are basically ignored by Oracle database engine at the time of execution. It's a good practice to add comments in your program. It improves code readability and maintainability. Okay, so basically in Oracle there are two types of comments. One is single line comments. Okay, so we can use double dash, okay, in order to start single line comment. Okay, so everything after double dash, okay, that is basically ignored by the compiler at the time of execution. Okay, let's look at this particular example. Select star from employees, okay, and double dash, this selects all employees. Okay, so this is basically a comment. The highlighted one is basically a comment. Okay, after double dash we can mention our comment. Okay, so using this one can understand what this particular query does. Okay, next we have multi-line comments. Okay, so we can use multi-line comments starting with forward slash and then asterisk. Okay, this is for starting, okay, and for ending asterisk and then again forward slash to end a comment. Okay, so this can span multiple lines. Okay, let's look at the example. Okay, so here we are starting our comment. Within the comment we have mentioned date, author, description of that particular program, and then we have ended the comment. Okay, and this is basically our query. Select star from employees where department is equal to sales. Okay, now what it does basically retrieves all employees who are in the sales department. Okay, it's a best practice to include at least 3 points in your comment. Okay, one is date, on which date this particular object is created. Okay, then the author who has created that particular object, and finally the description of that particular program or object. Okay, let's understand the importance of comments. Let's see if you have written 1000 lines program. Okay, now if any new developer has to modify that particular code and like he wants to incorporate some other changes on top of it, okay, then what he will have to do, he will have to go through all the codes in order to understand the existing program. Okay, in that way, if comments are there, okay, maybe 5-10 lines of description, okay, so by looking those comments, he or she can understand what this particular program does, and accordingly he can incorporate changes and he can make changes. Okay, so in that way it's quite useful, and it's always good in any programming language to use comments. Commenting database objects. Okay, so we can also add comments on database objects such as table, views, column, etc. Okay, so this basically defines the purpose and uses of each object. Okay, now let's see how we can add comment to a table or a column. Okay, so let's look at the first example. Comment on table employees is table containing employee details. Okay, so in this particular example we are adding comment on table employees. Okay, and what this comment is, table containing employee details. So this is basically a comment on this particular table. Okay, next we have comment on column. Okay, so comment on column employees.salary is the salary of the employee. So here we are setting comment on salary column of employee table. Okay. Next, we can see how we can retrieve comments from a table or a column. Okay. So select table underscore name comments from user tab comments. Okay. So there is a data dictionary view user tab comments. From there we can retrieve comments for the table owned by that particular user. Okay. Next we have select table underscore name column underscore name comments from user call comments. Okay, where table name is equal to employees. Okay, so for the table employees it will provide all the column comments. Okay, so this is how we can retrieve comments from a table or column using data dictionary views. Okay, let's talk about dual table. So basically in Oracle, dual is a small work table, okay, which consists of only one row and one column. Okay, and it contains the value cross in that column. Okay, so this is quite helpful in selecting constant value, performing some sort of arithmetic operation, doing some sort of string manipulations. Okay, so in that way dual is quite useful. Okay, so this is how dual table looks. Okay, now let's talk about some common uses or example of dual tables. Okay, number one, selecting constant. Okay, so this is how we can select constant from dual table. For example, select hello world from dual. Okay, so here hello world, it's a string, it's basically a string constant because we are not selecting this particular value from any column. Okay, next we have performing calculations. Using dual we can perform any sort of arithmetic operations. So in this particular example, select 2 plus 2 from dual. So this will return 4. Okay. Number 3, using functions. So different sort of functions we can use using dual. Okay. For example, select state from dual. Okay. So this particular statement will return the current date and time. Number 4, getting sequences. Okay, so using dual we can basically call sequences. We can call the current value of sequences as well as the next value of particular sequence. For example, select my sequence dot next val from dual. Okay, so this basically retrieve the next value of a sequence. Okay, so let's fire some query on dual table. Okay, so it basically returns this cross with the column name dummy. Okay, now we can perform some string operations. Okay, let's say lower. Okay, I am mentioning here welcome in a uppercase. Okay, so this will return this particular string in a lowercase. Okay, so see here we are seeing lowercase of that particular string. Okay, so this is how we can do. We can also do some sort of arithmetic operations. Let's say 2 plus 3. Okay. Okay, so it's 5. Okay. Now in the similar way, we can incorporate comments. Okay. So we can mention here it's a example of dual table. Okay. So this is just a comment. Okay. Oracle engine will not execute this particular statement because it's a comment. Okay. Then it will not affect your result. Okay. If you want to incorporate multi-line comments, we can also do that. Okay. Let's say this one. This is sample here. Multi lines comments. Okay, and here we can close the comment. Okay, now let's execute it. Okay, so both will work fine. Okay, similarly we can also add comment on one particular table. Okay, so sometime back we created this table student. Now let's try to add comment for this particular table. Okay. Okay, so we can mention comment on table, okay, student, okay, then is, which is basically part of syntax, okay. Now here we can mention comment, okay. This table holds information for students, okay. Now let's execute it, okay. So comment is created for this particular table, okay. So in order to retrieve the same comment, we can simply query on, okay, user tab comments table, okay. So select star from user underscore tab underscore comments, okay, where table underscore name is equal to student, okay. So you would be able to see the comment created for this particular table, okay. So here we are able to see that particular comments, okay. So this is about comments on database objects and dual table, okay. So we'll stop here. Hope you would have liked this particular video, okay. Please like, subscribe and share this video in order to reach it to wider audience. I'll come back to you with another interesting video. Till then, goodbye, thank you, keep watching. So let's start this particular video. But if you are new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe it, and please like and share this particular video in order to reach this video to wider audience.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.